Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 528th Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. Straight away you'll see this is a 3v3 exciting Barbarian Invasion battle, and it was fought on a Germanic forest map. Okay, I like this map because you can get the winter bonus for the barbarian troops, or the woods bonus as well. Okay, our first teammate is Brotherhood member Finrod Felagund, or to RTW veterans this is Cappy. But he's Brotherhood member Finrod Felagund now, and he has bought the Romano-British faction. Quick look at his units here. Okay, these British legionnaires are really solid infantry. They can throw pilers, but as I say, they're really good infantry as well for both attack and defence. Make no mistake, this faction is a really good faction, and it'll be interesting to see how well those legionnaires do. And a quick look at his cavalry. And if you notice here, he's got units, he's got mixed cavalry, he's got the Grail Knights. Now, if you look at the number of the Grail Knights, can you see they've only got 32? As you know, most cavalry units have got 54 men in them, but the specifications on this particular unit, the Grail Knights, is so good you only get 32 of them. Okay, so that just gives you some idea to how really good this cavalry is. Okay, I notice he's got mixed cavalry, to say he's got the Grail Knights, and he's got the Sarmatian Auxiliary as well. Maybe he wanted to bring a 54-man unit for a bit of extra weight, you know, maybe a bit of extra penetration there with those extra cavalry. Okay, so that's a pretty good Romano-British army. Let's say this battle was fought back in December, so it was just when we were starting to play Barbarian Invasion. Okay, our next teammate is Brotherhood member Barclayman, who has bought the Lombardi faction. And just a quick look at some of the units there. If you notice here, he's got Knight Raiders. Now remember, these Knight Raiders are effective against armour. Okay, see, those effective against armour axes, but also they bring a big fear factor. And remember, in Barbarian Invasion, morale is very, very important. So to bring a unit that sucks morale from enemy troops is a really good tactical army build unit to bring. Okay, anything that takes morale away from enemy troops, really good unit to bring. Okay, also he's got the effective against armor chosen axemen. Make no mistake, those effective against armor axes will cut wide swathes through heavily armored troops like Roman legionnaires. Okay, so that's pretty good. And then he's got the medium range chosen archers. Now you've got two types of archers. You've got the armoured archers, which these are with medium range, or you've got the Lombard archers with long range but no armour. So they're easier to kill. So it's up to you what you want to bring, either armoured archers with medium range or long range archers with no armour on. So it's pay your money, take your choice kind of thing. And he's got the Barbarian Noble Cavalry. This cavalry is good cavalry, good solid cavalry. So that's a pretty good army build. As I say, this is fought back in December when we first started to play Barbarian Invasion, so these really are experimental armies. And our next teammate is myself, Spartan Commander, who has bought the Burgundy faction, okay? And these units are very much like what Barclayman had there. And I've got Knight Raiders, as I say, effective against armour, but bring a big fear factor, taking morale away from enemy troops. Also, I've got the chosen axemen as well, with their effective against armour axes. Okay, cut wide swathes through heavily armoured troops like the Roman troops. And here, you know, we were talking about the berserkers here. If you notice here, they've got the two-handled sword there, but these are not effective against armour. Okay, they're not effective against armour, is not in their specifications, but they do bring a big fear factor, taking morale away from enemy troops. And then we were talking about the two different types of archers. Look, can you see I've got the chosen archers with armour on for medium range, and I've got the Lombard archers for the long range, but they've got no armour, so they could be killed easily. But I like to have a bit of a mixture of archers there, a bit of long range and a bit of medium range there. And my general there is, if you notice there, see my general, and he is a Horde chosen swordsman. Okay, they've got really good defence, and that should keep him alive a bit longer there. So there's our team. Okay, quick look at the cavalry. I think I've got Barbarian Noble Cavalry, the same as Barclayman there. Yep, there you go, Barbarian Cavalry there. So there's our team there. As I say, it'd be interesting to see how well we do. Two Barbarians and the Romano-British. Okay, at this stage of the battle, I thought we'd have a look at Finrod's cavalry formation. Now, if you look carefully, can you see anything unusual about this cavalry formation? Have a close look. Is there anything there that you notice a bit different than what you would expect to see in a cavalry formation? Okay, so if we zoom in a bit, can you see that he's actually got a spear unit running with his cavalry. Now this is a cheap spear unit, but it's a fast moving unit, but of course it's got a big anti-cavalry bonus. So what he's going to do, he's going to run that fast moving spear unit with his cavalry as much as he can to help his cavalry counter enemy cavalry. It'll be interesting to see how well that unit does during the course of the battle. But that is a pretty good Romano-British army to me, and should do well. And here is the other team. We have a Barbarian Invasion player, King Donkey. And he has bought the Franks faction here. If you notice, he's got 5 archer units here, the hunters unit. Now they've got no armor and they're only medium range, so they're not great archers. Okay, and then he's got the Francisca Herban. Now these are axemen here, as you can see, and those axes are throwing axes, and I think they are effective against armor. Okay, so they're good infantry in their own right, but also they can throw those effective against armor axes. Make no mistake, those are good troops there. And of course the Franks have got the elite Paladin cavalry. Okay, now only a few cavalry units in the game have got a 10 charge bonus. Now remember, the charge bonus is the penetration and impact that they do to enemy units when they hit. And these guys have got a 10 charge bonus plus really good specifications. Make no mistake, these are an elite cavalry unit. So the Franks are a very good unit faction to bring if you do decide to play Barbarian Invasion. Okay, their next teammate is RV Belisarius, who has bought the Roman Western Empire faction here. Okay, now at the front of his army there, you can see he's got the Plumbartari. Now these guys throw metal-tipped darts. Now they've got at least 10 of those. I think they might even have even more ammunition than that, but it's at least 10. And of course, these can be absolutely devastating against barbarian troops before they even come into battle. Then he's got his eagle units, the Comitatantenses, okay, and they throw pilers, and there's 122 men in the bigger units, but only 81 in these, but they throw pilers. And then what cavalry has he got? Okay, he's got the Scoli Palatini cavalry. Let's say it'll be interesting to see how well he does. I think this is the first game that RV Belisarius has ever played a Barbarian Invasion, to my knowledge. So as I say, this is a very, very experimental army for him as well. As I say, this battle was fought back in December, just when we started to play Barbarian Invasion. Okay, so it's all experimental here. Okay, and their third teammate is Brotherhood member Clash, who has bought the Roman Eastern Empire rebels, and you can see that he's got a 122-man eagle unit there. Now, just to show you that there's so many missile infantry in the Roman armies on Barbarian Invasion, it's very difficult to fight them with barbarian troops. This should be a great battle for you to watch. Okay, it's very, very early stage of the battle here. You can see that King Donkey is bringing his Franks troops forward. Right, did you just see Barclayman's cavalry unit that he had hiding in the woods just come into view there as he moved it? He was going to attack those archers there, but you could see the enemy cavalry were approaching, so he decided to pull that hidden cavalry unit back there. But that was a good ambush position there. That's why I like this map, you see, because you can plan ambushes from the woods, and plus the barbarian troops get the woods bonus as well as the winter bonus there. Okay, so you can see here now Finrod moving his Romano-British troops there towards those Frankish troops. Now look at these crossbowmen here, the Bucellarii. Okay, they fire effective against armor crossbow bolts. Okay, so they're very useful to have. They've only got short range, but they can do a lot of damage to all units with their effective against armor crossbow bolts. So they're quite a useful unit to bring. Okay. Now just over here on our left flank, we didn't get a chance to see these guys because they were hiding in the woods. Okay, now these are some kind of elite cavalry. Okay, these are the, if you look at them, these are the Equitae Clibanarii Roman cavalry. Now make no mistake, these are elite cavalry. Can you see like those rolling pins they're like carrying? Those are effective against armor maces. Okay, now the specifications on this cavalry is so good, you can leave them in melee fighting infantry and you'd be surprised on how good they do. As you know, when cavalry are fighting infantry, cavalry usually lose, or you pull your cavalry out. But these guys are so tough, they can actually stay in melee fighting. That's how tough that cavalry is. And with those effective against armor maces, that really does make a difference. Okay, as I say, with fighting two Roman armies here, with so many missile infantry, they can cause so many casualties within our barbarian factions before we even get into hand-to-hand fighting. So it's going to be a real challenge here. And don't forget those Franks axemen there, they're throwing their axes as well. So they've got a lot of missile infantry here. Here you can see Finrod's crossbowmen here shooting their effective against armor crossbow bolts into those Frankish troops, and King Donkey has decided to pull his Frankish army back there a bit. As I say, he's been very, very aggressive right from the beginning of the battle here. But as I say, let's just pause the game for a second here, just to reinforce what I was saying about the Roman armies here. Now look at the Plumbarturi. Okay, those guys that fire those metal, throw those metal-tipped darts. Okay, you can see those metal-tipped darts there, and they've got, as I say, at least 10 of those darts to throw. They may well have even more than that. And then you've got the comitatenses here of Clash, 122-man units, all Eagle units, giving loads of morale to their troops. They all throw pilers as well. So with the morale he's got, and look at all the missile troops that the Romans have got here. So you can imagine the damage that they can do to our barbarian troops before we get even into hand-to-hand fighting. So make no mistake, this is going to be a real challenge for our team here against so many missiles that those Roman troops can throw into us. I say it's got the potential to be a really great battle. And watch out what happens to my army a little bit later on. You might be surprised. Okay, at this stage of the battle here, you can see that the Roman Eastern Empire rebels General Clash there is actually forming up his army on our left flank opposite my army. Plus, he's got RV Belisarius's Red Roman cavalry there ready to charge in as well. Okay, but the thing that worries me is the amount of damage that those missile troops are going to do to my army before we even get into hand-to-hand fighting. As we said, all those missiles that they can throw in there. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to take the skirmish mode off of my archers, and I'm going to put them as a pilot shield unit, I think, in front of my main army. That might be an idea there. You see Barclayman here using that heavy cavalry unit there to take out some of the enemy archers there. Nice little move there by Barclayman. But as I say, the main problem here for me is that Eastern Roman Empire rebels coming in there, Clash's army. As I say, I've taken the skirmish mode off my archers here, and I'm going to put them as a pilot shield unit there in front of my main army to try and soak up as many enemy missiles as I can before we get into a hand-to-hand fight in there. Okay. So as I say, remember these Clibanarii cavalry, they're effective against armor maces. These are elite heavy cavalry. And as I say, they are so tough you can put them into melee fighting infantry and you'll be surprised on how well they do. Okay, but the main problem for me, as I say, at the moment is the missiles that enemy infantry can throw into my army, and that's why I've got my archers in to the skirmish mode off there, and they're going to be my pilot shield unit. As I say, my archers are shooting directly into that comitatense unit there. And you'll be surprised on how tough the Roman infantry are as well, especially those 122-man units. They don't suffer a lot of damage from archer fire. Okay, but as you can see here, that there's a bit of a mass of Roman infantry and cavalry on my left flank. I'm going to turn my army slightly here to try and face the main threat here. But as you can see here, the enemy are definitely closing in here on the left flank. You can see the Red Roman general there moving forward. Belisarius there moving forward towards Barclayman's infantry there. And you can see the Plumbarturi. Remember those Plumbarturi, as I say, they've got at least 10 each ammunition, maybe even more than that. And they've got a long distance as well. They've got a very long range that they can throw these piles as well. Those metal darts as well. So not only have they got a lot of ammunition, they can say they got a lot of range as well. Okay, so I've got my pilot shield unit, my archers in front of my main army, and I'm just waiting now to see what this army of Clashes is going to do now. I can imagine I've seen him in the past with his army. He's very aggressive here, so it wouldn't surprise me if he charges in. Right, here comes that Clibanarii cavalry. Get ready for this, and bang! As they smash into my archers there, trying to destroy my pilot shield unit so his missiles can do more damage. I'm going to counterattack with my barbarian noble cavalry. Get ready for this, and bang! And they smash into that cavalry. Okay, make no mistake here, it wouldn't surprise me if he turned his cavalry back in. There you go, he's going to turn his cavalry back in there. And now this is going to be a real battle there between my barbarian noble cavalry with their swords up against the effective against armor maces of those Roman cavalry, those Equitae Clibanarii there. That's going to be a real scrap there. I'm starting to have to throw infantry in there as well. Let's try and help my cavalry. Let's pause the game for a second here. So that's going to be a real scrap there. As I say, I'm throwing axemen in there to try and help my own cavalry. But notice here that the enemy green Roman infantry here have moved to point blank range to throw their missiles directly into the flank of my engaged troops here. That's a nice little move there by Clash. Those missiles will absolutely decimate my infantry. Plus, you can see the red Roman general there, Belisarius, moving his cavalry round to smash in maybe into the rear of my engaged troops. So make no mistake, my army is in dire need there of some help. You can see here that the Belisarius is moving his infantry forward. They're going to be throwing loads of missiles into Barclayman's army here as well, causing a lot of casualties before they even get into hand-to-hand fighting. Okay, so things maybe not looking so good for us here on the left flank. As I say, I'm throwing everything in now to fighting these Clibanarii and those green Roman infantry there that are going to be throwing loads of missiles into me at close point blank range. Okay, make no mistake, you can see the missiles there, those metal tipped darts plus the pylons being thrown in. Look at those missiles there. Point blank range straight into the flank of my engaged troops there, causing massive casualties. You can see that the enemy red Roman cavalry has joined his Clash's army there. You can see several of my units starting to rout here with the pressure from the enemy red Roman and the enemy green Romans there pressing it in on me. Plus, as I say, the missiles being thrown into me point blank. Look at those pylons and darts coming into my infantry there at point blank range. Imagine the casualties that is causing to me now. You know, it's going to be absolutely devastating to my army there. So I say, things not looking very good. Barclayman's bringing some cavalry over here to help, and as they go in, bang, as they smash in there as well. But as I say, morale very important there, and he's going to be running into some of my troops that have routed there. It's going to lower the morale of his troops. As I say here, so many missiles going into my infantry, and then you can see that Clibanari's cavalry recharging there. They pulled back, locked and loaded, and charged in, and bang, smashing into my infantry there. Okay, but as I say, you got all those eagle units there giving morale to their troops, keeping them fighting. You got those red Roman cavalry charging into the rear of my infantry as well. So as you can see here, my army, I think, is on the brink of being broken here. Let's say, Barclayman, look at the casualties that his units have suffered from the missiles from those Roman troops there. Belisarius' missile troops there have caused mass casualties to his units before they've even got into hand-to-hand fighting. Okay, meanwhile, over on our right flank here, Finrod with his Romano-British are doing very well, I think, against the Frankish troops here. He could do pretty good. Remember, his legionnaires can throw missiles, but don't forget those Frankish troops throw those effective against armor axes as well. So to say, the whole battle is up in the air at the moment here, but what I'm a bit worried about is this red Roman cavalry in behind my engaged troops. Okay, you can see my troops there fighting those Clibanarii cavalry, and here come the red Roman cavalry. Get ready for this. This is going to be a sandwich attack, and bang, as that cavalry smashes in there. Oh my gosh, some of my infantry units are still managing to hold, but they're starting to rout now. And see how Clash is now throwing his green Roman infantry into the fray as well there. So I was smashed from the rear from red Roman cavalry, and smashed in the front from green cavalry and green Roman infantry, and my army has now been routed. Okay, my army has now been routed, and our left flank has now, make no mistake, been broken here by a concerted enemy cavalry and infantry attack. As you can see, most of my army has now been completely routed, and now all this green Roman infantry can now concentrate on poor old Barclayman's army there. Okay, although he is already under pressure from red Rome and infantry units, Belisarius' units already. So, can Finrod, our ally here on the right flank with his Romano-British, do any good against the Franks troops here? Because, as you can see, both Barclayman and myself are in deep trouble here, and Finrod here needs to do really good against these Frankish troops. Okay, now this is an interesting tussle here. Elite Frankish paladin troops here against those Grail Knights there. Okay, make no mistake, you've got two elite cavalry units here fighting each other. But remember, those Grail Knights, there's only 32 men in a unit because their specifications are so good. But also don't forget, these paladins are pretty good as well. And you can see The Franks general there throwing in an infantry unit as well. Okay, they've managed to rout the Frankish general here. You can see that those archers are still shooting into our allies' troops there. But it looks to me like Finrod's done well here with his cavalry. Really well there against the enemy paladins, but there could be a reason for that, and that is because look at that spear unit. Remember we saw that spear unit earlier that he was running with his cavalry? He just incorporated that into his carrier there with their anti-cavalry bonus there, helped to fight off those paladin cavalry. Nice move there. And you can see a lot of King Donkey's cavalry have all been routed here. Now this is a nice move here by Finrod here, moving his infantry round behind those engaged Frankish infantry there. And if he charges his cavalry in there as well, he could smash that Frankish army. And then maybe he could then bring reinforcements over to help poor old Barclayman against those Roman troops there. Okay, you can see those Grail Knights charging in there. They're charging in and bang as they smash into those Frankish troops there. Now if he can just finish off those Frankish infantry and get rid of those archers and then bring reinforcements over here to help Barclayman. I can't tell you how good a job Barclayman's doing here, holding so well against all those Roman troops. And don't forget, those Plumbarturi are still throwing missiles into Barclayman's infantry here. Okay, as you can see the Plumbarturi still throwing those darts into Barclayman's army. Look at the volume of darts. So, as I say, Barclayman's doing really well here. But we need Finrod to get over here really quick because Barclayman's army is starting to fold. Now, can you see the rear of the Red Roman general? And that'd be a good target, I think, for the Romano-British. Right, let's pause the game for a second. So you can see him bringing all his Romano-British troops over, including his elite Grail Knights. He's routed the Franks army there. Now if he can smash into the rear of Belisarius' general, take the general out, take the morale bonus away from his army, that would be a great hit there. And make no mistake, Finrod will have spotted that with all the experience he's got in RTW. Barclayman's general still alive, still managing to give morale bonus to some troops there that are left. But basically all my army's gone a long time ago. Right here you can see the Grail Knights going in there and bang as they smash into the rear of that Belisarius' general unit there, and he has now routed that unit. Great move there, great hit there by Finrod. Let's pause the game for a second. So make no mistake, that was a deliberately targeted attack there by Finrod into the Belisarius' general. Take him out, take the morale away from his troops. But as you can see, there's still a lot of enemy green Roman troops left here. Okay, still a lot of those troops left. And as you can see here, Finrod is bringing over his Romano-British troops here to help Barclayman's troops that he's got left here. Okay. There's still red Roman troops fighting here as well. But as I say, poor old Barclayman's general has just been taken out, but he's done so well to hold up the enemy Roman troops so long there, allowing our Romano-British ally to bring over reinforcements here. As I say, the battle's right up in the air at the moment. There you got all those Roman troops there. But can those Romano-British troops do it? You can see I've got one unit left, and that's the archer units that's rallied there. But make no mistake, the vast majority of my army is gone. And as I say, you can see a lot of Roman troops going there. You can see that cavalry smash into that red Roman unit there. So if you were a betting person, which way do you think this is going to go? You can see, as I say, those Plumbarturi throwing those darts point blank into our allies' armies there, causing so many casualties. And as I say here, you can see our Romano-British ally Finrod bringing over his troops there, helping out Barclayman here. He's moved his Grail Knights in behind the enemy troops. Nice tactical move there by Finrod. And as I say here, you can see the Romano-British here closing in on those enemy green Roman troops. Right, that's good news for us. The general, the green Roman general, Clash's general there, has just been routed, taking the morale bonus away from all his army. Remember, morale is so important on Barbarian Invasion. Take out the general, and that is a major thing on Barbarian Invasion. Okay, so let's just pause the game for a second here. Okay, so it looks like we managed to turn things around here, and it looks like we've managed to go on to win the battle. As you can see, Barclayman, I think, has got 3 units left. They're all battle damaged there. As I say, all my army was destroyed a lot earlier in the battle there. So really well done to Finrod here. He actually saved the day there, but well done to Barclayman holding up those Roman infantry as long as he did there. So well done to him as well. So really well played to both Finrod and Barclayman here. Of course, over here on the left flank is where my army got smashed and routed by concerted enemy cavalry and infantry attacks on my army. I might have weakened him a little bit, but I don't think I did a lot there. You can see a lot of enemy cavalry dead there amongst that, but well done to Finrod and Barclayman there in doing so well and turning the battle around. Make no mistake, I think we really did snatch victory from the jaws of defeat there. So well done to those two there. I say, I think there's just some of that Frankish hunters, archers left there. It wouldn't surprise me if they admitted defeat now, because no good carrying on now. It's obviously the Battle of Diego is just admitted defeat there. So let's say our team did manage to go on to win the battle there. But that very, very old saying of snatching victory from the jaws of defeat, I think is very true here. Okay, so just like I say, really well played to everybody in the game there, and just say it was a close victory. Let's say this was fought back in December when we first started playing Barbarian Invasion, so this really was experimental. Highest kills in the game to Brotherhood member Finrod Felagund, 1,523, so well done to Cappy there, done extremely well. And Barclayman did well there with the second highest kills, held up that Roman army so well. So really well done to both of you guys, you really turned things around. So let's say really well played to King Donkey with his Frankish army. Probably didn't get the kills that he wanted to get there, but he did okay with Franks. Well done to RV Belisarius, got some really good kills there with his Red Roman army. Well done to him, and I think that's the first time he'd ever played Barbarian Invasion. And well done to Clash, got some good kills there as well with his army, so well done. As I say, my army there got smashed and routed quite quickly in the battle there. I didn't get the kills that I wanted to, so well done to the enemy team there. But well done to Brotherhood member Barclayman there, got some good kills. And as I say, highest kills in the game, well done to Finrod there. Okay, so just to say, we play Barbarian Invasion from 8 o'clock every Sunday evening. If you'd like to join us, it'd be nice to see you. I hope you enjoyed this battle. Look forward to seeing you soon, and bye for now.